So it's 11:30 p.m. and this all starts with this helicopter I converted to FPV. It's super fun flying it around. However, it did unfortunately get taken out by the wind.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, as you can see, it is pretty mangled up. To be honest, these things are super resilient. I just crashed it way too many times. This is where the little battery goes. So from this wreckage, I've been able to salvage these main components like the batteries and the motor. The batteries also have a built-in USB-C charger, so it's going to be super convenient to turn these into something. So this is basically the plan. We're going to have the battery, a switch, and then some kind of custom battery connector, and then the motor and the fan, and we're going to turn this into a little micro, super powerful fan like this. Hopefully the fan blades will look something like this, a little bit more uniform, hopefully. And then it should be super small in scale. Plan done. So first step is just going to be figuring out the battery. I can use a multimeter to find positive and ground. And then even though it's a 1S battery, it does have 3 pins. So I'm assuming the third pin is just going to be a data line, which I'm going to check. So next up, I just need to measure all the components using calipers so that I can do the 3D design to actually design the fan. So then it's time for 3D design.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan.
So the propeller came out really good, it printed really well. It was also really rigid. I couldn't feel it flexing or anything like that, which is good. So next up is going to be designing the main body of the fan.
We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
So prototype 1 is done. I'm really happy with how it came out. I just need to remove the internal support structure. So with the first prototype, the fan blade fits in perfectly. There's no contact on the side or anything. So then I just check if all the other components like the battery and the switch can fit in as well. After that, I need to design a way to hold the switch. So I decided I would integrate it into the back section and it would kind of slot through and then hopefully join seamlessly. And then I roughly tested the idea with the first prototype and I was happy with how that part went. The seam wasn't too visible. So then it was time to actually fit the switch in. I was really happy with this because there was no wobble or play or anything. It was a super tight friction fit, which is perfect. Then I can put the battery underneath this and start to kind of think about how I'm going to attach the battery to the switch. So then I started doing the 3D design to attach the pins to the battery using a custom connector. After impaling my fingers multiple times, eventually I got them in, and then as you can see, it's almost a perfect fit for the battery. It's just a little bit narrow, so I just need to correct that for the final version. So for the next prototype, prototype 2, I decided I wanted like a two-tone look. So I make a front section, which will kind of slot in, as well as a hole that will screw through to attach to the back panel. This is how it turned out. So the two-tone section just kind of slots in like this. And the custom battery connector fits perfectly and it's all wired into the switch and to the motor as well. And you can press the two halves together like this. They fit together very snugly. And then where you can see kind of the golden insert, it just needs a small M2 screw to go through there and attach the front section to the back section. The direction of the screw is also parallel to the way the switch is being moved, which means there's no play or shaking or anything when you're toggling the switch. It feels like it's just one uniform piece of plastic. So I'm super happy with how prototype 2 came out. I'm really happy with like the size, the weight, the scale, and everything like this. You can comfortably keep it in like a pocket, and compared to like a standing kind of mouse, this is how it looks. Because the switch has 3 positions, you can also click it back and forth without actually turning the fan on. So you can also use it like kind of like a fidget toy as well and that kind of thing. So to test the performance, I'm just going to go ahead and break up this paper and then see how easily the fan can kind of disperse of it. So I'll leave it on the table, turn the fan on. So that works really well. The air feels really directionalized. Next up, a little bit more scientific, we've got some paper targets that are exactly 1 meter away. So I think that test did a really good job at showing how directionalized a fan can be, and it also feels super powerful coming from such a small fan. It does also sound like a vacuum cleaner, but I'm not too concerned about that. I just wanted it to be powerful. So next up, I'm just sweeping the fan over a piece of paper, and you can see how directionalized the airflow is, how controllable it is. So in terms of improvements I need to make for the final version, at the moment this doesn't have a hole for the USB-C charger, so I need to put a hole in the back panel, and I also want to just refine a few more things, maybe sand the blade down a little bit and that kind of thing. So now I was pretty much happy with this prototype. I just needed to put everything together and make a final finished version with the charging hole and a little bit more refined as well. So this is how it came out in the end. I'm really happy with how it came out. I think it also looks better in these two-tone colors, but please let me know what color combination you think is best. This one also has a hole in the back for the USB-C charging, so it is basically a complete product. It is really convenient to use and does work really well as a fan. Obviously the only thing is it does sound like a vacuum cleaner. So because I have 3 batteries from my broken helicopter, I can make 3 of these, and I'm really satisfied with how things have gone from making this from the broken helicopter. The only thing I have had to do, obviously I had to order the switches, also had to order a couple more of the same kind of cordless motor so I can make multiple. The helicopter only has one of that size. I will make sure to leave links for the motors and switches and everything used in the description in case you guys do want to pick up these parts. So finally, I want to rate the product I have created and then add it to the Today in the Lab tier list. Because I'm planning on creating a lot more things and I'm making a lot more complex things, I think it would be really cool to add everything to a tier list and kind of evaluate what I've done. So I'm going to evaluate it across 4 dimensions. Each dimension will be rated 0 to 25, giving 100 total. The dimensions are complexity, design, ingenuity, and finally performance. So starting off with complexity, I got to give it like a 1 out of 25, right? There's really not much going on. There's no advanced electronics, there's no coding. Super simple to make. It's really not that complex. Obviously it is a small handheld fan. It is not a MiG-29. So next up we got design. For design I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 25. I'm happy with the design. I'm happy that only one bolt is needed to hold everything together and this kind of thing. I'm also happy with how it looks. But then again, it's not a particularly complex design. I didn't have to do any computational fluid dynamics or stress analysis or anything like this. So it's pretty simple. So when it comes to ingenuity, there's nothing really new about this design, so I'd go ahead and give it a 2 out of 25. I've not had to invent anything, I've not really had to do anything particularly special. It is of course just a handheld fan. Then finally we got performance. For performance, I'm going to give it a little bit higher. I'm going to give it maybe like a 12 out of 25. Just because something this small, it does feel super powerful. That's obviously due to the really high discharge LiPo and the cordless motor. So it does feel really powerful. And another thing to consider for performance, because the motor is pulling like 2-3 amps or whatever it's pulling, the battery's probably going to last between 5 to 10 minutes. So obviously that's not great either. In total then, we got a score of 22 out of 100. For it to be 100, it will need to be a lot more complex, more advanced, better material design, not just kind of 3D printed, and also more capable, more functional, just more advanced in general, right? So we can go ahead and put it on the tier list, and yeah. So this is a Today in the Lab tier list. Everything I make, I'm going to put on here. Hopefully you're going to make a lot of stuff in the next couple months. So also we've got S tier at the top, which needs a score of 90 or above. And then we've got A, B, C, and an F tier at the bottom. So obviously the fan I've made, 22 out of 100, it is straight in F tier. Yes. It's a good starting point. Obviously, everything I make from here will hopefully be stepping it up each week. Hopefully, stepping it up higher and higher. If I ever make something that goes in S tier, it will be a big day. So yeah, in the next video, I'm going to be also using the micro fan I've made, just slightly adopted version, and then something's also going to be moving. Things are getting stepped up quite a lot, hopefully. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a good day. You guys take care.